Fucking load you cunt. Here we are. We're live, finally, after many hours of fucking around and having no idea what the fuck we're doing.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, we got there in the end. So how are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm tired as fuck, to be honest. I had to be up really, really early this morning because I had a million phone calls to make and I've got to go to a meeting after this stream. So today's just the shittest Monday ever. But c'est la vie. So, Trump is a big fan of grabbing pussies. Did you hear about that fiasco?
Yeah. How could you not?
What were your thoughts on it?
I don't know. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal just because it was like a private conversation. It wasn't like he was saying that like during his speech or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
I mean,
they're just looking for every reason to demonize him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, like, he's actually started tanking in the polls because of it, but it's just so fucking stupid. It's just a non-issue. Like, what I say behind closed doors with the boys would get me executed. I say all sorts of fucked up shit. Like, we make rape jokes, dead baby jokes.
Yeah.
Like, if I ever ran for politics...
It sounded like a joke, too. It didn't sound like he was even being serious. Just like,
yeah.
And you could do whatever. Grab a pussy.
Grab a pussy. But the memes that have been coming out of it have just been fantastic.
That's amazing. It's so funny that it's from like 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So he never like would have known that 10 years later he'd be a meme.
Yeah.
Just a private conversation. Didn't even know memes existed back then.
And the funny thing is that Hillary Clinton had all of these emails leaked pretty much around the same time on WikiLeaks. And apparently CNN, MSNBC, and all those sort of major Hillary loving pieces of shit aren't reporting any of it. So she's sort of getting a bit of a free ride.
Of course.
No, it's just such a fucking joke. But, you know, I digress.
Yeah.
So
you got, like, you hear about all this in Australia and other places?
Oh, absolutely. So we've got a TV show called The Project, which is a very left-wing virtue signaling. It's kind of like the Young Turks, but a bit more comedy.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and it's fucking stupid. So there's this guy here called Waleed Ali. Now, he won a Logie this year, which is a very prestigious award in Australian television. Now, he does these segments called We Need to Talk About It, or something along those lines. And he'll do a segment where he stands up for the little guy, virtue signals, you know, typical sort of tactics of the left. And he actually did a piece on Donald Trump. And I made a video about it a couple of days ago. And he's just such a fucking wanker. But yeah, like as far as the Trump thing goes, we hear about everything that happens in the States regarding to this election. It's like...
That's crazy.
The first election that every single person in Australia has a position on.
That's so funny. It's the worst, like craziest, weirdest election,
isn't it?
It's
ever,
so bizarre. Probably. Like I'm like actually amazed that it's reality, but
it's just a fucking circus. It's fantastic. I love it. I actually I do a lot of shit posting on my personal Facebook.
Of course.
And a family friend who's like my second mum, who I've known basically since I was 11 years old. So that'd be, Jesus, coming up to 20 years in a few years. I posted something about Trump and she just fucking tore me apart. Started abusing me and threatened to delete me. And I'm like, I didn't actually say I supported Trump. I was just posting something that was funny. And
Yeah,
everyone fucking gets all up in arms about it.
yeah, it's amazing how much people let politics like just define how they treat people. Like, if you have a different opinion than me, you are like worse than Hitler.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's just like so irritating how smug they are, though. It makes me so mad because the people who live around me, like any of them who followed me on Twitter before, they all unfollowed me as soon as I said anything, even. And the account that they were following is my easy account. So I'm very, like, I hold back a lot on that account. That's why I made
Yeah.
this new one. So I could just say whatever I wanted, but it didn't
So,
even the mild things got me unfollowed and hated and said how scum I am. And
so you lost friends over political opinions, have you?
I haven't, but the way that people treat each other because of it, and the way that, especially the liberals, I think, like, I'm sure it happens on both sides, but I've been really exposed to the regressive left because of just all this, it's very popular to be leftist and really progressive.
Yeah,
And
ain't that the
what was I
truth?
saying?
Have you been exposed to it?
Shit,
So you've at the least lost followers on Twitter and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, you said did I lose any friends over it?
Yeah.
I didn't lose any friends over it. I had this one friend who was my best friend last year, and it is not because of our political differences that we didn't become friends anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so, because I knew that she was becoming more and more progressive. I use that term in quotes, but because and I don't know, we just drifted apart, and she started being more and more of a bitch, and then she just started hating me for no reason, and she unfollowed me on everything, and it's just really weird. And now I was even going to go to college with her, and it ended up changing last minute. I'm very grateful that it did, because that school turned out to be a very progressive school, and I would have been in hell.
Oh yeah,
I would have hated it. I didn't know that it was that progressive, and I looked it up, and it is, and I'm just very happy. But I'm perfectly willing to be friends with someone if they have different political opinions. I do not think that should separate people if you can have a good relationship with someone,
Yeah, I agree 100%.
But
Like, most of my friends
that makes me so mad when people
left.
are like that, though. Like, how could you just be so arrogant to think that you're
a lot of bigots out there.
So much better. Yeah, but they think that everyone else is a bigot. Is the ironic
That's where
part.
it's ironic, isn't it? Yeah. See, on my Facebook, I reckon I've probably got more friends who are on the left than who are on the right. Now, I don't consider myself necessarily to be conservative or right-wing, but I'm definitely right-leaning.
Yeah, me
neither. But I love
neither,
people with different opinions from me, and they challenge me on stuff and debate me. Like, that forces me to strengthen my position or either change my mind on things that I might have been wrong about. So yeah, I love open debate and discussion, but apparently that's becoming increasingly rare.
Yeah, that's really sad.
So you're in college now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Have you been exposed to any of this SJW bullshit at university?
It hasn't been that bad at the school I go to. I haven't noticed. I don't even live there, so I don't know. I just commute for this year.
Yeah.
Because it's really close to my house, and it saves a lot of money. But it hasn't been that bad. But like I said, I think if I went to schools in the city or something, it would probably be worse. Of course, there's individuals. I'm sure if I looked for it, I would find it in the women's center and stuff. They were talking about how they were making vagina monologues and weird stuff.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? That sounds so weird.
What is a vagina monologue? Is that where your vagina fucking talks for an hour?
I don't know.
I mean, I've seen some
like
challenges.
they were.
That's a fucking next level shit.
Yeah, I guess they like made vagina shaped things and like wrote messages on them. I don't know. It sounds really, really weird.
It's bizarre. See, we've in Australia, our universities are becoming increasingly regressive as well. I think it was last year. There were two kids at a university called QUT, which is based in Brisbane, where I'm from, and they were in an Aboriginal-only computer lab. Now, they were kicked out by one of the lecturers, and because they weren't Aboriginal. So they both went on to Facebook and posted, "Where's the white supremacist lab?" And the other one posted something along the lines of QUT preventing segregation by using segregation. And what happened was they both got suspended from university, and they found out that there was a complaint made against them against Section 18C of the Racial Discrimination Act 1975, which basically says that you can't criticize any religion, any race, or anything like that. Otherwise, it's basically hate speech. So they ended up in court, and they've got
So are there actually like hate speech laws, like actual laws against it?
Yeah, absolutely. See,
in Australia,
the shit thing about Australia is we don't have free speech legally protected.
Really?
So, yeah, your constitution is where you have all of your rights given, whereas in the Australian constitution, and it's only about 88 pages, it's a pretty easy read, is basically delegation of powers. So our constitution doesn't actually have any rights. So we've got things like the Racial Discrimination Act, the Sex Discrimination Act, and what was the other one? It was 2007 Anti-Discrimination Act, I think it was. And yeah, all of these acts that basically preventing hate speech, criticism.
I think that's so insane. I never knew how bad, like how rare like freedom of speech is on this planet. Like until I started learning about this stuff. Like it's so insane that so many people can get arrested just for words. That just blows my mind.
Well, I spend about 3 months of the year in Singapore, and Singapore is the most fucking draconian society in the West. Now, there's a guy who's a YouTuber called Amos Ye, and he's a pretty funny guy, but he's a little bit too high energy for me. He made a video criticizing Islam, and to my understanding, he spent a couple of weeks in prison for it.
No way.
Or maybe he just copped a fine, but I'll have to look this up.
That makes me so mad. I can't.
Oh, yeah, it's just insane. Like, free speech seems to be almost non-existent these days. Well, except for in the United States. But even then, like, while you guys have free speech,
even then I've heard instances of people losing their jobs for words. Yeah. Not even threatening words. Like, even maybe if it was like threatening to hurt someone or something, then I can understand. But just saying your opinion, you're fired. Like, that just,
yeah,
so
Amos
awful.
Ye, 4 weeks in prison.
And then people wonder why, like, these liberals wonder why Trump is gaining so many followers.
See, the thing I love about Trump is he's not a politician. He's just a guy with a fucking sense of humor who says what he wants. I wish all politicians were like that. Like, yeah,
don't get me. I don't like him. I don't love him. I honestly, if I'm being honest, I do kind of like him a little bit, but I don't think he would make a great president at all. I think he's kind of a doofus sometimes. He's not obviously in every.
He says some dumb
shit. Not in every
right?
way. He can be smart and cunning when he wants to be, but for his own personal gain. But I think he's genuine and like, people try to make him to be so, like, just this horrible person, and he wants nothing but, like, cares about no one but himself. I think he's being genuine. I think he really wants to make these changes. Like, I think he actually does care about America, and I definitely like that too. And Hillary, I just feel like she's just a robot. Like, I'm not even sure she's human. Like, I can't read her. I can't relate on any level, because I feel like everything she says is just a script. It's just some line of bullshit, and she'll do whatever she wants. She's not going to say what she'll just say whatever people want to hear to get votes, and then she'll do whatever she was going to do and whatever she's been doing for the past 30 years that she's been in office.
Yeah.
So
I think she's just power hungry.
Yeah, she's just my turn. Like, she just needs to be president already.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
funny. Like, here in Australia, if you do, I guess it depends on which kind of politician you are, but in our election in 2007, Kevin Rudd was going up against Peter Costello and John Howard. And it came into the media that Kevin Rudd had been caught at a strip club. And their PR team were basically just going, yeah, we're fucked. We've just lost this election. But once that came out, his approval ratings went through the fucking roof. Everyone was like, yeah, this guy's a fucking boss. And he ended up winning the election. So I think it just sort of goes to show that you don't necessarily need to be, private school, study law, career in politics type thing and have no personality, just be a robot. If you're a normal bloke, you can still do quite well. And I think we need more of that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think, to be a politician and say, as long as you have the right policies, like, it doesn't matter how much experience you have as a politician, like, people care about if you're honest and about your policies, I think. And
yeah. See, I'd really, really love to get into politics one day, but given the shit that I post on Facebook and the dodgy history that I've got, where I've gone out fucking, lines of cocaine in the fucking bathroom of a strip club, if that shit came out, no one would fucking have a bar at me.
Man, that sucks. Like, if you're a politician, you can't have any fun, basically.
No, it's fucked. Like, these poor politicians must have really boring lives.
I know. No wonder Hillary's so cold and heartless and lifeless.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's really interesting. I didn't care about politics at all until recently, getting into this social justice crap. And I just think it's really interesting to, like, analyze people, and I don't know.
So what was it that, I guess, red-pilled you, in lack of a better word?
What? Sorry.
What was it that red-pilled you? Like, sent you down the rabbit hole of politics and all that sort of stuff?
Oh, it's just not a very interesting story. I was just bored this summer, and have you ever watched The Amazing Atheist?
Yes, I'm subscribed to it.
He's hilarious. I think he's very, very interesting person. I've been watching him since, like, 9th grade. He's, one of the people I started watching when I started questioning religion. And because I was, like, friends with that girl I was telling you about, she would always, like, get annoyed by people criticizing feminism, and I would just see the titles of his videos, and I would, like, avoid clicking on his feminism videos because I thought it would make me like him less and I just wouldn't enjoy them. So I avoided watching them at all. And I just thought, I didn't know what feminism actually was. I just thought it was, just something very, like, not a big deal that no one cares about. So I avoided watching them. And then this summer I finally, like, started watching them, and I thought they were very interesting. Like, the main thing that drew me to wanting to watch more and more of his feminist videos that I've been avoiding for so long was the whole, like, victim mentality. He was criticizing that. Like, he's reading all these feminist things where they're constantly making women victims, constantly making, you know, you're just a damsel in distress, basically. And, you know, I just really liked the, like, life motivation that I got from that.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was really interesting and saw the way some of these people acted and just thought it was insane. And then the more I realized what they were saying, I see that in my friend who now hates me, but
Of course
I saw
she does
more
if
of
she's a
that in
feminist.
real life. Yeah, but I wouldn't even talk to her about that stuff very much, which is weird. But it just wasn't meant to be.
Speaking of the victim mentality, in Victoria, which is where I was from originally, there's a Liberal government in power at the moment. No, they're called the Labor Party, but they are a Liberal, very, very Liberal party. But they've just, I think it was last year, they started a program called the Safe Schools Program. Now, this was started by a chick called Ros Ward, who's an publicly Marxist. Now, this program is basically spun as being anti-bullying and anti-discrimination for LGBTQI #, helicopter, or whatever the fuck it is these days. And everyone took it on board and said, oh yeah, this will be great. Now, it was just announced a couple of days ago that the program's being modified to teach men that masculinity is toxic.
Oh,
and
that makes me mad. That makes me so mad.
They have male privilege and all this sort of stuff.
Don't even get me started on the privilege shit.
Mm-hmm. So the program is effectively teaching women that they're victims and men are pieces of shit. And I actually made a video on this last night. I just uploaded it this morning, where I just ended up raging. Fuck off, though. But yeah, it's just amazing that the level that these feminists can take things. You know, it's not only just abuse on the street, it's also now in our education system, our universities, it's getting into our judicial system as far as all this anti-discrimination policies go. Yeah, I actually feel like we're very, very slowly heading towards the path of being a fucking totalitarian society in Australia. It's fucked.
Wow.
So I might be moving to the States soon, I think.
That would be cool.
Like, yeah, you've got Black Lives Matter, but you've also got free speech, so you've got to take the good with the bad.
That's crazy you don't have free speech. Like, I heard them say how Kraut T, he lives in Germany, how his is, like, very bad there with free speech. Like, he could go to jail for saying the wrong things. So I didn't know it was like that in Australia, too. Like,
I think it would be worse in Germany. Like,
yeah,
in Germany, you know, your house will get raided if you post the wrong thing on Facebook. Here, it's not that bad. It doesn't happen very often that people get complaints under Section 18C, but it does happen, and it's happening more and more often. So it is concerning. But you know, what do you do? Get into politics and change the law, I guess. Look, I'm going to have to go because my phone's just going off the fucking hook and I've got to get to this meeting. But it was good to chat to you again.
You too.
And we should do it soon.
Yeah, when we actually have, like, enough time to talk.
If I ever have enough time. Oh, my life's a pain in the ass sometimes. All right, Jess. Well, I will talk to you soon. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.